Today we're going to talk about venture capitalists versus business angels or angel investors. These are one of the most popular and strongest sources of finance. So we're going to watch a video that distinguishes between both, and then we're going to discuss the differences between both, and that's it for today. Okay, so.
Hi, welcome to Ask Jay. I'm Jay Adelson. We're here to answer your question about starting businesses. It could be tech, could be anything. We don't care. Just keep it coming. It could be even your own lemonade stand as far as I care, but just send your questions to askjay@revision3.com. Let's get started. I'm Jay Adelson, and I'm the founder and chairman of Revision 3. I've founded a number of companies. I've been hired as a CEO, and I've even been fired as one. For example, Equinix is a company I took public in 2000 and now has a market cap of over $4 billion. In 2008, I was incredibly honored to have been selected as one of Time Magazine's most influential people in the world. My goal is to pass on some of this knowledge to you, the budding entrepreneurs, and hopefully leave you with some words of wisdom. This episode of Ask Jay is brought to you by Gamefly. Today's question comes from Jenny in San Diego, who asks, what's the real difference between angels and VCs, and which should I choose? Well, it's funny. You get all of this information out there about angels and super angels and, venture capitalists and seed funds and all this noise. The reality is, I hate to say it, you take money where you can get it. And if a VC is offering you money or an angel is offering you money, yes, you basically take it if you can. Now, if you have choice, if you have an amazing idea, I know that in the case of Dig, we had this website that was growing pretty well before it actually needed to raise any money. So in that position, you have choices. At that point, it's important to understand. So let me list it out for you. Angels are basically individuals who have their own money to invest. It's usually, investments limited to, I'd say, $10,000 to maybe $250,000. And there are some big name angels, and then there are some real, sort of quiet behind the scenes angels. You've heard names like Ron Conway in Silicon Valley and others. These are big time angels who invest larger numbers. What's nice about those type of investors, they tend not to jump on your board of directors at first. They tend to be more connectors. They help introduce you later to venture capitalists if you need it and so forth. And sometimes they're very active and they'll work really hard for you because they're going to get a big return because they're investing very early. Then you have venture capitalists. Venture capital firms, remember, they're investing other people's money in your idea. Big billion-dollar funds that they've raised from what they call LPs, these big investors. And so those type of investors typically want to take 20 to 30% of your company. They typically want to get big, 10x to 100x returns on their investment. And so they're going to join your board. They're going to try and steer you towards the most massive potential exit possible, which you might not want to do. So you have to think hard before taking that money. And then there's a number of different, I guess you can call in-between type of investors. Super angels is a popular term right now, where sometimes it's a combination of their own money and other money, but they invest larger amounts, like $1 million in your idea. I like these in-between investors because they give you all the benefits of angels without all the high pressure on super return that a VC has, and gives you more time to figure out your business before you execute. So in a minute, I'll give you some more details on how to make this choice between VCs and angels. But first, I wanted to thank our sponsor. Gamefly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 7,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. With plans starting at $15.95 a month, Gamefly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. There are no late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. Once you're done playing a game, send it back.
Okay, so what did you understand regarding the difference between business angel and capital in the venture capitalist.
هو أنا فهمت إن الأنجل introduce الفينشر كابيتالست، وإن الأنجل انفسترز بتبقى between the range of بتبقى مثلا 10,000 ل 250,000. تمام.
اوكي.
ونسبة إن هو الشخص بينفست his own money تقريبا حاجة كده. ماشي. ولكن الفينشر كابيتالست بتبقى invest other people's money، تبقى العكس ليه.
اوكي.
وإن الفينشر كابيتالست بتبقى برضه بتبقى between 20% ل 30% of company.
طيب تعالى نشوف venture capitalists. Venture capitalists are high risk capital, and this is a very important keyword, high risk, usually in the form of loans or shares. So they either give you the money as a loan or they buy shares in your company. Okay. Invested by venture capital firms, usually at the start of a business idea. They seek to invest in small and medium-sized businesses that have high growth potential. But what does venture capitalists want? أول حاجة في حاجة اسمها the ROI, which is a very important term in finance. It's called the return on investment. If I'm going to invest in Muhammad's business مثلا with $10,000, I want a 5 times return on my investment, so I want $50,000 in return. It is safe to assume that investors want a high return on the capital they have invested. أي حد عايز كده. Okay. This is the first thing that they require. The second thing that they require is a business plan. They need to know that you have a good and solid business plan that is going to make them understand what they are investing in, that the plan is solid, that the plan is strong. Like, what is a business plan? It is a long-term aim and purpose of the business venture. So I'm just giving the venture capitalist a long-term plan that has the aims and purposes of my business. It has the direction and the identity of the business. And investors want to see that the idea is profitable and worth investing in. They are going to require that they should know the people that are going to work in the business, because if the business is going to hire lousy people, therefore it's going to fail. If the business is going to hire qualified, driven, motivated, ambitious people, therefore with طبعا a myriad of skills, therefore the business is going to succeed. Lastly, they need to see a track record. If you already took loans before and your ability to pay back lenders is going to be برضو a very influential factor in their decision making process. So is there anything that is not understood here? في أي حاجة مش مفهومة؟
لا تمام.
Business angels. Business angels are wealthy individuals who just want to invest their money in a profitable business. As simple as that. So I have some money lying around, so I'm going to invest in that business. Business angels provide funding for firms that are unable to secure loans from banks. So mostly business angels target smaller firms that have a higher risk, even higher than venture capitalists. Why? Because they are targeting small firms and they are investing a considerable amount of money in it. And as the video said, they are going to help out the business owner. They are going to provide them with training, with the networking, And also they are going to provide them with financial backup. Why do small firms go to business angels, not banks? Because they are still too small to secure loans from banks, and also too small to attract the attention of venture capital. The advantages is that they take a proactive role in the business, and they provide you with experience and financial backup. However, the disadvantage is that the owner loses some control to the angel since he is invested in the roles of the business. And when the business succeed and they do not need the business angel anymore, they are going to have to buy out the stake owned by the angel. So if the angel owns 30% of the business, I'm going to buy this 30% back to my business and give him his money back according to the value of the 30% today. So if he bought 30% 5 years ago with $10,000, but after I succeeded, these $10,000 for the 30% is now $100,000, I'm going to pay him back $100,000.
ده إيه هو اللي paying back الفينشر كابيتال ولا برضو انجل عادي؟
لا احنا we're talking about business angels دلوقتي، مش بنتكلم على business investors.
تمام
سوري، مش بنتكلم على venture capital.
فينشر كابيتال تمام.
Okay. طيب أنا عندي 3 types of financing: short-term financing, medium-term financing, and long-term financing. الحاجة الوحيدة اللي تعرفوها الفرق ما بينهم: short-term refers to the current year in terms of external costs. This means anything that has to be repaid to creditors within the next 12 months. So لو أنا استلفت فلوس, it's going to be a short-term finance if I'm going to have to repay it within 12 months. It's a medium-term finance if I'm going to have to repay it between 12 months and 5 years. And it's a long-term financing if I have to pay it from 5 years to a longer period of time. For example, mortgages and debenture could go up to 20 years. And that's it. That's it for today's class. It's a very short class. I just wanted to finish the chapter. And we're going to meet, inshallah, on Saturday to go through costs and revenues and break-even analysis. حاجة صعبة يا جماعة في اللي احنا شرحناه النهاردة؟ متهيألي إن it's very easy.
لا البيزنس انجلز والفينشر سهلين، كنت فاكر ان هم هيبقى فيهم كلام كتير اصلا.
No. They're very simple. Okay, thank you for attending.
شكرا.